treating this. And she kind of turns to the group and looks at the other tiefling and says in Eldritch, are they going to do it?
Are we going to do what?
Oh my god.
The tiefling that you're all talking to kind of looks between Artemis and the other tiefling and kind of puts their hand up for a second and kind of looks back at the group and is like, well, it's no easy task, and but it would benefit us greatly. And like I said, there's money in it for you. Do you really need to know the details?
That's kind of how I stay alive.
I mean, we'd have to know who we're killing.
Well, of course. But I need to know that you'll do it before I tell you who.
I want one deal. I want something from you immediately, right now, before I agree to anything.
What?
There's someone in this town who may be trying to kill me. I need protection from her.
The tieflings kind of look between each other for a second, and the girl kind of nods, and she's like, "Yeah, of course."
Her name's Sariel. She looks like a tiefling, and I describe her.
Okay. As you describe her, the tiefling that you're talking to, doesn't really make a face, but the girl off to the side does, and then she kind of laughs, and she's like, "You want us to try and ward off a Sorath?"
Just distract her, or hide me, or make sure I never see her again.
The tieflings look between each other and start very discreetly whispering in Eldritch, kind of back and forth to each other for a second.
Can I perception check that?
Yeah. Shout out to that 20. You pick up bits and pieces of the conversation, and it's mostly just their lack of desire to interfere with a holy being. But eventually they kind of come to the agreement that they will hide you, but they're not going to directly interfere with her. And then the tiefling that you were talking to turns around and is like, "Okay, fine."
All right, sounds good to me. Who do you want me to kill?
The girl kind of laughs at this, but the other tiefling manages to keep a straight face. And the girl, you realize now, has solid red eyes and like lone pupils in the middle, and it's kind of creepy. But you can very clearly see where she's looking, and her eyes are on Derek. The tiefling that you were originally talking to is like, "So, we've had issues in the past getting in and out of Eldritch on our own, and we need the Prerix dead." And at the mention of Prerix dwarves, the dwarf off to the side like perks a little. And Regan, of course, you realize that she had tried to kill a Preric earlier. And she kind of perks a little and goes to say something, and then nothing comes out. And she glares at the tiefling girl, and the tiefling girl waves her hand. And the insane dwarf, still covered in blood from her dinner, kind of looks up and goes, "I can help you kill Preric, scum." And the tiefling you were talking to kind of looks over at her and kind of assesses the situation. He's like, "Well, I mean, how do you feel about a new party member?"
Weren't really a party to begin with.
I prefer people
Well-
who weren't trying to kill me previously, if it's all the same.
And at this, the dwarf laughs and kind of looks you over, and you're used to being like checked out, but when she does it, it's unsettling.
Yeah.
Like really unsettling. And she kind of laughs and she goes, "I have no desire for your flesh."
That's just offensive.
Why won't you eat me? Anyway, uh, and the tiefling kind of shakes their head, and they're like, "Well, you'll be a party for the right amount of money, but you will have to travel to Prairie and kill their leader."
I mean, I've done worse.
Not one for murder, but I am one for money.
It's ephemera, Derek.
Derek's weighing his options because he still has to get that.
Question. Does this person have any pets?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Hmm. Bummer.
I'm sure there are plenty of beasts between here and Prairie for you. And they do kind of look at the wolf and the pseudo dragon with you and kind of make a face, but they turn back around.
DM question.
Yes.
So is Peric anywhere near where Garth is? I don't even know where he is.
Yes and no. The Prairie Mountains are a fairly large mountain range. If you cut it just right, you could stop back where Garth is on the way.
Alright. I'll do it, but we have to make a stop on the way there. I have to drop something off.
The tiefling kind of nods and he waves his companion over, and she reaches into a bag, and she reaches into a bag. It's a fairly small bag, and then she just pulls out like a very hefty coin purse, and kind of hands it to her partner, and they start rifling through it, and they're like, "Well, half up front and half when you return, just to make sure that it's done." And they how many of you are there? 4 of you?
4.
4 plus
Yeah.
dwarf.
If you're taking the dwarf.
Oh god, I don't want to take the
I don't
dwarf.
want to, but
No,
yeah, no, I don't want her.
just 4.
Just 4.
The dwarf makes a noise and kind of growls something else in Dwarven. Derek, you know Dwarvish or question, but not well enough to catch like everything she says, but she does say a lot of pretty questionable things about demons and sluts.
It's Derek's that person who knows the curse words of the Dwarven language of another.
Yeah. She seems pretty annoyed between the two tieflings and Artemis, but she also seems calmer than she did when the other two first got here. But she kind of snarls and stomps off. And for a tiny little being that she is, she makes quite a bit of noise. But he passes out, trying to think of what's divisible by 4. He doesn't pass out. He hands 1,200 gold to Artemis.
Okay. I split it evenly. I don't care.
Okay, so that's
300?
Yeah,
Wait,
300
yeah.
everybody.
Yes.
Look at
Glad I don't
Reagan
have
now.
75 gold anymore.
So it's 300 gold to everybody, and
Hey.
the tiefling kind of gives you real rough directions to Prarik, which, I mean, the directions are pretty much, you leave Erloth, you'll see the fucking mountains. It's not that hard to find. And kind of walks over to his partner, and they're very, very quietly whispering to each other for a
Can I
second. And
perception this again?
sure. They're talking about another target, kind of to each other, and kind of figuring out what they're going to do now that they don't have to go to Prairic.
Okay.
But they kind of turn around, the one tiefling you've been talking to, and kind of look at the group over, and they're like, well, if the money's fine and you're not too worried about dying in Prairic, I'll see you when you return. And both of them kind of turn and walk off.
Last question before you leave.
And he turns back. They turn back around. They kind of look exasperated, but they stop.
Is there like a timeline on this? Like, how soon do you want this done?
The two tieflings look at each other for a second, and the girl speaks up, and she's like, well, it's less than a week out there and less than a week back, so unless you're a fucking idiot, it shouldn't take you more than 2 weeks.
Shit.
I'll see you in 2 weeks then. No, actually, I say I'll see you in 3 weeks then.
She makes a face, and the other tiefling kind of waves their hand, and they do turn around and walk away. So yeah, now you guys get to go to Prairic.
God damn it.
It's night now. The dwarf is gone. You can loot the body.
I'm looting that fucking body.
Okay. So you go into the alley. It smells. It smells so bad. But you go into the alley. You manage to hold your lunch long enough
I mean, my
to.
lunch was Derek.
Long enough to loot the body, and when you you kind of, mill around. There's weapons. He's got shoes on, all that fun stuff. When you pull the money, or you go searching for the money, and it's nothing but paper. There's no gold.
Question. Since I've traveled so much, would I vaguely recognize this as like a human thing?
It's human money, but since you're going between here and Prairic, human money isn't going to do you any good.
Okay. I take it, and as I walk back out, I'm like, I hand it to Reagan, like, have a gift on me.
Reagan, you now have a
Thanks.
wallet full of like $60 on you.
Alright. So I'm gonna take it out of that wallet and put it into my own wallet.
Yeah, you have a wallet with like $60 in it. So
What the fuck is that?
yeah, Ephemera, Derek, you guys have never seen wallet or paper money like ever.
Derek kind of just grabs Regan's arm and goes like, what's that?
Money? Human money.
Fucking weird.
I
Yeah.
guess. I mean...
He
Yeah.
lets go of him.
Yeah, pretty much everyone that Ephemera's pickpocketed in her life
What
has
happened?
managed to have gold. Yeah, y'all have never seen a wallet or human money before. But after that kind of awkward exchange between Derek and Regan, you guys gonna go to bed?
Hold on, for Decker.